Adam, what are you doing? Come and look at this. This has 500Hz refresh rate. This is the brand new MSI MPG 271QR QD-OLED monitor, and yes, it has a 500Hz refresh rate, so let's go ahead and check it out in this video. This is a review unit that has been kindly sent out on loan by MSI for me to make this video. Let's unbox it. You get some VESA adapters for mounting, a cleaning cloth, test report, USB upstream cable, ultra high speed HDMI cable, and a DisplayPort cable capable of 80 gigabits per second. There's an included stand as you'd expect, and this simply attaches together with a single threaded screw that tightens and secures the two pieces. A latch mechanism is how the monitor attaches and detaches from the stand, and whilst I'll be using it on a monitor arm, I at least like to show what the stand offers. There's some pretty decent adjustability here, with the monitor being able to move in all directions, including being able to stand fully vertical on the monitor stand, which is always a bonus. But of course, yes, it is VESA mounting compatible, and my mount slots right in so we can get it up on an arm. Before that, a quick look at the ports. We get a kettle lead, and this plugs into one side. There's no power brick, which is great as it's all built into the monitor instead, so just a kettle lead. Then there are two 2.1 HDMI ports, a 2.1A display port capable of 80 gigabits bandwidth, a USB-C with 98 watts power delivery, a USB upstream port, and two USB-A ports, not forgetting the headphone jack, which you might need as there are no inbuilt speakers. I think the overall design of the monitor looks pretty nice. It's a similar style to their other monitors, with a combo of that gunmetal grey kind of look, with the shiny MSI Dragon logo, and of course some Mystic RGB, because it wouldn't be a gaming monitor without some RGB. The QD-OLED panel is seriously thin, and as you'd expect, it looks great from any angle. The actual monitor itself is a little thicker because of all of the internals, but this is pretty standard and certainly not bulky. This monitor does have an amazing display though. It's a 27-inch 1440p QD-OLED, as we've already mentioned, and there's nothing quite like a good OLED for getting those colours to pop. Settings have an array of options for you to play around with. MSI's AI tools, including the Care sensor, which we will talk about in just a moment. There's KVM, MPRT options, and multiple HDR options in here. True Black 500, Peak 1000 nits, and MSI's own EOTF boost, which essentially delivers higher brightness under the same average picture level. It's supposed to give you that punchy HDR look still, even in brighter scenes. I use this as I am someone who does enjoy a brighter display, but of course this is all preference. Various other settings including adaptive sync, multiple color options which you can obviously fine tweak, input sources including the USB-C with 98 watts power delivery, tons of OLED Care 3.0 options in here, from pixel shift, taskbar detection, and panel protect. It's all part of MSI's OLED Care to keep the panel looking good. Lastly, there's ability to turn off LED, control RGB, and that kind of thing. Now back to that AI Care sensors, I just wanted to quickly demo this. There's various options that you can pick from, but essentially this at the front can detect you if you leave your display and then dim the screen or even turn it off, and it will then wake on approach when you come back to your display. Now this is pretty nice, as I do often walk away from my desk and I will leave things up on my monitor, risking potential burning. Now I'm used to both 4K and 1440p gaming, and there is a difference in quality. However, the 1440p is still a very, very good resolution for quality, especially when using it on an OLED. The games really do look fantastic, but one advantage of using 1440p is that it requires less GPU power, which means you can benefit from a higher FPS, and seeing as this monitor has a 500Hz refresh rate, game depending, you can actually use it. I'll show various games throughout this video, but one noticeable is Battlefield 6. With pretty much maxed out settings and using DLSS 4 with some frame gen, I was getting over 500 FPS at certain times using a 5080. So for shooters, this monitor is certainly hitting some sweet spots, that's for sure. It's pretty rapid, has a 0.03 millisecond grey to grey response time, low latency, and the 500Hz refresh rate just has gameplay looking hella smooth. It's certainly the fastest monitor that I've ever used to date, and over double in terms of what I'm actually used to with refresh rate. This is of course with PC, where we can benefit from the full 500Hz. If you're going to be using a console, you're going to be limited. However, you can still max it out here with what the PS5 can handle with the 1440p resolution. So you can enjoy 120Hz, VRR and auto low latency mode where applicable on the games that support that. If you're just a console gamer, you might want to consider a 4K option with a lower refresh rate. However, if you're a PC gamer, or perhaps a mix, a bit like myself, then this is a really solid option. You still get to game on a really good resolution, potentially make full use of that 500Hz refresh rate, game and GPU dependent of course, but then still load up the console and enjoy some vivid colours, deep blacks and awesome viewing angles with great game quality across the board. I mentioned it earlier, but you will need a soundbar, speakers or headphones, as there are no inbuilt speakers. I'll link the one that I'm using in this video down in the description. It's just a cheap pickup from Amazon, but it does the job nicely. The included USB-C port with 98 watts power delivery means you could use it for work as well. Naturally, the MacBook I find has way better text clarity over Windows, so the text sharpness is pretty decent and totally usable if you wanted to use this for work. It's definitely got to be one of the endgame 27-inch 4040p OLED monitors out there. It's a real strong choice for FPS gamers, as it really doesn't get much better than this. It's always a pleasure getting to test out new monitors, especially when the panels look as good as this. You find yourself game hopping just to see how good they all look, how vibrant the colours are, how smooth the game feels, especially with that 500Hz refresh rate. It even gave me some confidence to hop on Counter-Strike, where I still got owned, but I mean, I was still having good fun, right? Anyway, a massive thanks to MSI for sending this out so I could have a play with it. It has been really fun running some games at 500Hz and definitely something I'd like to experience a lot more in the future. I will go ahead and include a link down below in the description if you wanted to check this one out. I hope that you enjoyed this video and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye for now.